the chat and the online space. And she has a few updates for us before we begin today.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you here. Thank you for joining us. I do want to share some upcoming events we have going on and reminders. All of the events we're going to go through today are open to all Cougs. First, Cougs Connect. You'll hear from Hunter today to talk about this and how it can help with your connections and networking at WSU and beyond. And we'll talk more about this as we go. We have an upcoming Crimson to Career. There's a new alumni panel that the Alumni Association is putting on. Again, all Cougs are invited to join. This is a virtual event on April 3rd from 1 to 2:30. We've got some panelists from different corporations, some university leadership. Dean Campo from Business College is going to be there. And this is open for everyone. It is free. And we're talking about AI in the workplace. So something very relevant to all of our lives these days. The association has chapters, clubs, and communities, which Rick will talk about today. But there are a variety of different ways to get involved with the Alumni Association. Even if you're not a member, we encourage membership, but if you're not a member, there's ways to be involved, and we'll talk more about that today. And finally, we have another event coming up in April. We're going to do some vision boards and talk about how to, bring those ideas, those goals, put them into something visual that you can see, and how do we work on attaining those goals? And that is open to all Cougs, and that will be a virtual event as well. And I will hand it back over.
Very cool. Thanks, Jamaica. So today we're actually going to be exploring a lot of the resources, networks, tools that support Cougs throughout their career. Whether you're a current student or maybe you're just beginning to explore opportunities, or maybe you are a soon-to-be graduate, or if you're an alum joining us today that's looking to either like grow, pivot, or reconnect with other Cougs, the resources aren't just post-graduation tools. They're actually a part of that lifelong Coug community that you can tap into at any stage. So I want to give a quick format because I love a good roadmap of where we're headed today and what to expect. So we're going to be gathering some insight because I love a good panel that's a little bit interactive just to keep everyone engaged. So we'll have some questions that are interactive throughout the panel, and then we'll hear from our panelists on several prepared topics just so we cover all the points that we're hoping to share. But at the end, we'll make sure to leave that time, right, to make it a conversational space, to focus on what matters to you the most. And then towards the end of the event as well, we hope that you will jot down some questions. So here in person, we've got some little handouts that you're welcome to jot down notes, maybe questions that you're curious about. And then here in the virtual space, we invite you to maybe jot down some notes as well. And you can use the chat to share anything that you're curious about that we can figure out what the last question of the day will be. And then above all, this is a conversational space. So relax, enjoy, and honestly engage in whatever way makes you feel comfortable. So if it's snacking or kind of doodling or taking some notes, we're here for that. And before we jump into introductions, we'd love to get a sense of who's here today. So in the chat or in person, tell us, are you a current student? And if you are, what year are you? If you're an alum, feel free to let us know, maybe that class grad year, if you're okay with saying that. But we'd love to hear and see. Any in person? Junior, we've established junior, right? Juniors. Okay, great. In the in-person space, we've got some juniors joining us. I will rep class of 2012. So I too am a WSU grad. We've got juniors, seniors, first year students. Okay, there's a lot of juniors actually joining in today. Some seniors, more seniors, grad student. Perfect. Yeah. Alumni, yes, recent grad, graduated a year ago. We welcome you. So thank you. Yeah, it's really nice to see like that mix of Cougs in the room. Everything that we're going to cover today should apply to you no matter what year in your journey you are, whether again, you're a first year student or you're joining us and have graduated, or you're on your way to graduation in a couple of semesters. So let's get to know our panelists today. You'll each Each of our panelists will have about a minute to introduce yourselves. Maybe let's do name, role, resource that you're representing, and then a fun like thing to get us to know you will be what's one thing that still connects you back to WSU today. And then just because I love a good order, we'll hand it to Rick first on the online space, and then we'll have Harrison followed by Hunter.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rick Flores. I use he, him, él pronouns. I am a 2019 graduate of the Pullman campus with a degree in humanities. Um, I also work at the WSU Everett campus as the MESA Math Engineering Science Achievement Program Director, and I'm president of the Snohomish County chapter of the WSU Alumni Association, and more. I think one thing that still connects me back to WSU today is the different volunteering opportunities I get to do. I've done scholarship committee for the Alumni Association. I'm president of my county's alumni chapter, and I'm back again being president of the Cougar Alumni Band. So love finding different ways to volunteer. And then I advise my fraternity, Gamma Iota Omicron Fraternity Incorporated, as their advisor. So finding ways to stay connected through WSU, through alumni involvement and volunteerism has been amazing.
All right. Well, I'm Harrison Hughes. I'm an assistant director here in the Academic Success and Career Center, which is where we are physically right now for this event. I completed an undergraduate degree at WSU, actually two bachelor's degrees, back in 2006, so it's been quite a while. And then I also completed a master's in counseling psychology in 2011, which has also been quite a while. And something that connects me back to WSU, I would actually say spend a lot of my time trying to deconnect from WSU. I've worked here for many, many years, and yeah, I'd say that separation keeps the relationship healthy at this point. So less fun and less selfless, certainly, than Rick.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. My name is Hunter Woltering. I am a class of 2022 grad. I am an engagement coordinator with the WSU Alumni Association, and today I'm representing Cougs Connect. A fun thing that connects me back to WSU is kind of the idea of being back home. I am born and raised in the town of Palouse, Washington, so it's just right up the road from Pullman. Went away for a few years and did some other fun things, but just love being back home here in Pullman and just constantly being surrounded by Cougs and just all things Cougs. So, yep, I love it here.
Awesome. Um, we're excited to learn more from our panelists. So to start us off, we again have those pre-prepared topics that cover like a lot of the different resources because, today we might spend the 45 minutes together, right, talking about these different things. And resources really are that thing that you can rely on at your own time, to explore some different items. So our first topic is, again, all about those resources that you can look forward to now and in the future. So to start us off for our panelists, we'd love for you to help answer what resources does your group that you're representing now offer to current WSU students and also throughout, what comes after WSU and graduation. And as you answer, feel free to give us a brief tour or samples of how alumni might use that or current students. And then we'll have Harrison start off with our Academic Success and Career Center and then have Hunter talk more about Cougs Connect. Then we'll have Rick kind of round it out with some of our alumni chapter things.
All right. So, the services that we offer alumni are the same services that we offer current students. Our policy is that we'll work with all recently graduated alumni up to 6 months after graduation, full services, and we have online career coaching. We've got all of our guides that are posted online on the ASCC website. There's a lot of interactive tools there, like our labor markets insights guide. So if you're trying to figure out which career switch or career that you might like to go into and learn more information about outcomes data and pay for those different positions that you might pursue, and just a wide variety of opportunities posted, events, career fairs that are going on. And those are open for all alumni if they are physically in the space where those are happening. And we do many online events as well. I'd say that In practice, I don't ask for any alumni to tell me when they graduated. So while the policy is 6 months after graduation, I have worked with pretty much everyone who has asked to have those meetings. So I'd rather have you reach out. I'd rather have you ask questions and find out what's available and just say, "Hey, could you help me out?" Than say, "Oh, well, I don't quite meet the cutoff there, so I guess I better step back." Yeah, so a lot of online stuff, in-person career coaching, online career coaching. Basically, if you feel stuck or if you're feeling like it's a little bit rough out there, that's a good time to set up a meeting and get some support. Does that cover it, Hildy? Did I forget anything? Okay.
Perfect. Thanks, Harrison. For Cougs Connect, there's a lot of great resources that are available to students and alumni, everybody who's on the site. Um, Cougs Connect itself, it is free for everybody to use and it's exclusive just for Cougs. If you're a student, you can use your WSU ID and your student email. You'll be automatically accepted onto the site and you can start exploring all of the great features from there. I'll start off with the feed. The feed, anybody can start posting on it. It's a great place to check out different events and just what's happening around not just WSU Pullman, but all campuses and systems there. We also have a directory. The directory is really great if you're wanting to find a specific person. There's a lot of data points when you're creating your profile, such as what dorm you lived in, things like that. So if you wanted to reach out and find someone very specific that you're hoping to connect with, that's a great place to dive in there and explore fellow Cougs. Another piece that's similar to the directory there is mentoring. Mentoring, in my opinion, is one of the most useful resources on the whole site. It's a great way to really elevate your career and your experience being a Coug. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard before, Cougs help Cougs. I think that's very evident on Cougs Connect. So here you can see if you click on the mentoring tab, you go over to find a mentor, and then you can search through all of those data points just like you can on the directory there. So if you wanted to find somebody at the Alumni Association, you could go and find them there. Jamaica's helping me out walk through this. So you get all of your data points. It can be as specific as you want it to be. You'll find a profile that matches those data points, and then you can click on that. There you can see badges that kind of show willing to help and those type of things. So once you're onto their profile or whoever, matches your needs, you can request help. And then one of the really great pieces about it is the templates that are built in. I know for a lot of people, and for myself included, it can be kind of intimidating to ask for help and to reach out to other people. And so these templates are really nice because you can find something very specific. So if you want to have help with your resume or have somebody do a mock interview with you, you can find those specific templates and then it's just pre-populated in there. You can go and customize it as you wish, but it's just a really easy way to just kind of break that barrier and reach out and start the connecting and networking piece. We also have job boards, which is really great. There's a ton of companies that want to hire Cougs. And so this is a great way to kind of take that first step and see what jobs are out there. Really, really nice because you can see who's posting it. So you can reach out to them specifically and get more answers about the jobs they're posting or about their company as a whole. Then we also have groups. Groups is a great piece to stay connected post college or even while you're still in college. With that, a wide variety of groups already exist on the platform, and we're open to many, many more groups being created on there. One of the great groups is Cougs Chat. After events like this, we love to continue the conversation. So if any questions arise today that you guys may have, feel free to go into Cougs Chat and you can just post the question to the whole group there. You could do it on the feed if you want, or you could just message any of us panelists individually on the platform as well. Then we also have our events page. The events is really nice because it shows you kind of what's happening around WSU. Again, it's not just what's happening in Pullman. We have all sorts of different people and groups who go on here and they submit their events to be shared out. So if you're curious or you want to attend a great event, this is a great place to check those out. And over to you, Rick.
All right. Hello everybody. So I want to talk a little bit about the benefits to you all with the Alumni Association chapters. So as I mentioned, I am president of the Snohomish County chapter, and some things that we love to do is plan events. We do social events where we're just bringing kooks together, whether it be a watch party, community service project, or like an event like Kook Day at the Aqua Sox or Kook Day at the Mariners. It's just a great opportunity to bring kooks together. And at some of these events, like happy hours or our summer socials, it's a great opportunity to connect and network with local kooks. And we have chapters all across the country, and many here in the state of Washington. So pretty much everywhere you go, you could find some kooks near you. The WCU Alumni Association also has some career development resources on their website that are very helpful to you. And I highly recommend checking it out. There are some amazing benefits with being a member of the Alumni Association as undergraduate students. You're all able to get a membership. They do offer a student level that is either $20 for a year or $33 for 2 years. And it comes with awesome discounts that the rest of us alumni get, whether it be 15% off at the bookie and Crimson and Gray, which let me tell y'all, that adds up really, really fast and pays for your membership pretty quick. But there's also over 50 discounts in the Poland Moscow area, so extremely beneficial for you. The Alumni Association also puts on various events around the country. So if you let me share my screen here. So we have an events page on the Alumni Association website, and you'll find similar stuff on Kooks Connect. All the events are linked in both places, but it's a great place to see what's going on around the country. You can also filter by chapters and groups. And if you're wondering what are the chapters and groups that you could find, you could head over to regional chapters and clubs. This will tell you where everything that we currently have is around the country. But we also have communities, which some are based around ethnic identities, some are things like the Cougar Alumni Band, Cougars of the Desert, LGBTQ plus Cougs, so many different communities you can get involved in, and all of these communities put on events throughout the year. So I think it is extremely beneficial for students to get involved in the Alumni Association as an undergrad. There are events you can go to, and if you are a recent alum, highly recommend getting a membership. Now, some events don't require a membership to go to, like watch parties and things like that don't require you to. But if you are a member, you get invited to some more exclusive events that are a lot of fun, or you get discounts for other opportunities. So yeah, I think it is an amazing way to connect with fellow Cougs. Another great advantage with the Alumni Association is there are chapters near all of the WSU campuses, physical campuses, and they often collaborate together. So, for an example, um, the Snohomish County chapter of the Alumni Association and WSU Everett collaborate on a few events throughout the year to either collect donations for the campus food pantry or to collect Kook swag that we can give to WSU Everett students. And then we also hand out Alumni Association swag at commencement for WSU Everett. So there's ways to engage with your campus as alumni, and with your local chapter if you're nearby one. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing a little bit about that, Rick. The next kind of topic we have is about networking because it was a common theme, right, that we hear a lot in terms of career development and then even like maybe taking the next steps, and some of that support is super helpful. Show of hands, actually, this is that engagement piece that we've got, but how many people here have gotten a job or an opportunity through your own network, whether that was like I don't know, internship, or maybe you got a really cool like lead on a scholarship or things like that. Any hands? We've got some thumbs up over there in the Zoom space and some hands up. It is quite common, and it might be more common too as you continue in your career pathway. Because I think after, reading a couple of like articles and just some information from different career spaces, right? That a lot of the like 75 to 80% of that estimates are that networking is a useful strategy, right, in your career journey. So why not tap right into the resources that we have here at WSU and that kind of the warm connections that you have through all of these different places. So our next question for our panelists is, how have you seen networking for work for Cougs specifically through your resource? And in other words, like what kinds of connections, opportunities, or success stories have come out of the networks that you facilitate. And then I'll actually pass it to Hunter first, and then we'll go Rick and then Harrison.
Thank you. Yes, I believe that networking is a huge piece, and I think Kooks Connect helps facilitate that great. For me personally, networking has been a big part of my career. I started as an intern with the Alumni Association when I was in school here. I went off, finished my degree, did all of the things, and then when I came back home, that relationship was already established, and I had known quite a bit of the people who still work at the Alumni Association. And so for me personally, networking has been huge. And then on the site, you see it in action almost every single day. A lot of people are using the mentoring piece that I'd mentioned earlier, but it doesn't have to be striking up that formal mentor relationship. It can simply be just reaching out. I've heard of a lot of people having success with moving to a new area. You know, you're going to be graduating and it might be completely foreign to you in moving to this new city. So being able to reach out to fellow Cougs there and just get their take on what it's like to live there, what it's like to find a job there, find housing, all of those great things can happen on Cougs Connect. And it doesn't, like I was saying, it doesn't have to be that really formal mentor relationship. I know for me personally, I kind of enjoy using the directory to kind of go back and look at what users are on the site currently that were in school during my time. I actually had an old coworker who had joined the site, and so I reached out to him there and just had a fun little conversation, reconnecting and kind of reestablishing that network, which has been really nice and really fulfilling to feel that in action. Another great thing about Kooks Connect, um, like I was saying with those messages, there's over 300 messages that are being sent. And so that just kind of shows the buy-in, not just on the student side, but also on the alumni side. Um, Over half of the users on the site are willing to help. And with that, the half that aren't, most of them are the students that don't quite meet the qualifications to mark all of those things in the system. So most people on the site are going to be there to help you. You know, it doesn't have to be a very specific question, just however they can give back and make your experience as a student better is going to be good for them as well. The group piece that I mentioned earlier, that's also major for networking. So if you want to dive in and expand your network, go and search some of those groups, and then see kind of what you connect with. Or if you want to create a group on the site from a group that you've already been established with on campus, that's also a great way because, you know, life gets hard when everybody moves out in many different directions. So having this space online where you can just reach out to your friends or reach out to your colleagues and just kind of share each other's experiences. I think that that's one of the big pieces for networking. You don't have to see it as like a formal, rigid system, but friendship and just respect amongst each other really helps drive that network, and it helps you in your career.
I have forgotten the order. Okay.
All right. Guess it's me next. So I think there's a lot of informal ways to network with the Alumni Association, on top of some formal ways through collaborations with Kooks Connect and campuses and everything. Um, One thing I will say is you never know who you're going to meet at an Alumni Association event. You never know what kind of background folks are going to have. And so I always tell people to come prepared when you're coming to a Coug event. So one thing I did when I was, first starting to get involved in alumni events and I was job searching is I made sure had my QR code up, that led to my LinkedIn and had my resume handy digitally so I could send it to folks in case I find someone who either is, working in the field I want to work in or might know someone, and then I could send them my information right then and there and build that connection. And one thing that's been great is we've been having alumni attend some events with current students attending, and they've been able to help current students with reviewing their resumes and answering questions about interviewing strategies and everything. And it's been really helpful. Um, I think Snohomish County has a lot more Cougs than folks realize. We're one of the largest Coug populated counties in the country. And it's crazy how friendly and how wonderful everyone was. Like I knew being a Coug was special, but being involved in the Alumni Association has shown me just how willing folks are to go out and help you and stick their necks out for you for this mutual connection that you all have. Um, We've also seen an opportunity for recent graduates to come engage. I think a lot. I remember when I first graduated college and I moved out of Pullman and I was working on the West Side. It took me a while to get engaged with the Alumni Association, despite everyone kicking my tires to do so. And I realize now that I probably would have had an easier time finding a job, would have found an easier time finding community and everything if I had just gone to the events that they invited me to. And I think recent grads, one thing you can do is check your local chapter to see if they're having a summer event, whether it be going to watch your local minor league team and there being Coug Night, or going to a summer social with your chapter. All those events are great opportunities to just find and connect with other Cougs who can help you make some professional connections later down the line. They also do the Alumni Association is also amazing at connecting with other Coug affiliated businesses and partners like Cougs First, which has like a career showcase, and you can go and look for jobs and everything there. So, highly encourage you to just take advantage of that resource that's available to you. It's much more helpful than you might realize.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been in my position for 16 years now, and we do a career fair in the fall semester and the spring semester each year. So I've been observing the effects of networking for 32 and some change when it comes to career fairs. And these employers pay and they travel. They spend a lot of time and energy to come to where the students are because they get something from that interaction, from learning about you in that space that they don't get when they are looking at the online applications and looking at the job boards. And I've seen relationships build over years, seen recruiters talk to the same people year to year, and those turn into internships, which turn into entry-level positions, which turn into a career. So there's been more than a handful of times where somebody got their internship through connections at the Career Expo and career fairs that we host, and then they turn around and recruit for us at a future Career Expo or career fair. So that's just demonstrably in effect, and the employers pay money to be here to do those things. But honestly, in the more interesting ones to me are those informal connections. The nephew and niece network is huge for finding internship opportunities. Your extended links, people who know you and know what you're about, being able to communicate what you're going after and talk to the people in your life about what your goals are, that by itself is a form of networking, just telling them what you're up to, because they don't have to consciously look for something for you to be able to relay an opportunity that they have found, as long as they know you're up to something. Um, I'm going to say that this instance is related because it is to alumni. It's myself and a childhood friend I have. He is an educator in the Tri-Cities area. He does special education. He's actually from a family, a third generation, three generations I've observed of educators. I was going through social media. I saw a post by the former governor of Washington State saying that they had an educational program for students with intellectual or emotional disabilities, developmental disabilities, to go to places in nature, to go outside, and to do experiential learning. But you could only be invited or you could only get into the program if you were invited. So somebody had to endorse you and say, you're a good applicant for this. So I wasn't thinking about who I could hand that to when I saw that post. But because I knew this person who got their teaching degree at WSU Tri-Cities, and I knew that they're a big outdoors person, when I read it initially, I scrolled right past it. Not what I was caring about at that moment. I needed like depressing facts about the universe or whatever. Um, but I scrolled back up, I reread it, and I went, I know exactly who cares about this. I told him about that opportunity. He nominated two people. Both of them went in to that program, and I was told that they had a pretty good experience with that. So would those people have been invited if I hadn't been doom scrolling online? Maybe. I can't take credit for it, but those types of opportunities are real. And I do worry that we get a little bit too wrapped up in I'm going to show up to this event, I'm going to headhunt, I'm going to figure out who's like the most powerful person in the room, I'm going to try to be very influential with them, as opposed to I'm going to show up and kind of be myself. And even if I feel like I don't have a ton to offer right now because I'm starting off my career journey and I don't have a ton of experiences and things that I can offer others, I realize that in the future, I will have things that I can offer. I'll have information, I'll have feedback. I can do an alumni event. I can be a panelist at one of our events where we invite people in different industries to come and talk to current students. So if you're worried that you're taking more than you're giving back, you'll get the opportunity. It just takes a little bit of time before you feel like you've got some cash in the bank to be able to hand out. Yeah, so networking, I'd say probably one of the most important things that's actually pretty easy to do.
Thank you. And I mean, there's just so many ways, right, that networking could occur with all these different kinds of resources and just all the things that are going on at WSU across the system. And our next question that we have now is actually for our audience. Here's another of those like interactive pieces that we would love to know who looks forward to graduating. I've got all hands over here in Pullman. How about online? For looking forward to it, right? Even if it's a couple of semesters out, or maybe it's like almost soon. Yes. Okay. And then also, let's be honest, who's a little bit nervous too? Yeah, maybe some head nods over here too. Anyone nervous as well? Also, yeah, someone already read my mind. They put also nervous. And yes, it's definitely like normal to feel both because it's a major milestone, right, in your life, and it's exciting, meaningful, and also at the same time over a little bit overwhelming, depending on where you might be at. But whatever you're feeling, you're definitely not alone, and we've got, great resources that have been there as well, and also can help you navigate. And for our panelists, we'd like to know from your experience, thinking back to graduation, what do you wish you had known, or what's the one thing you'd like to tell Cougs who might be on their way to graduation soon? And we will pass it off to Rick first, and then hand it over to Harrison, and then Hunter.
Awesome. So I think, gosh, let's see, I graduated 7 years ago. Gosh, that hurts to think about.
It
Um,
gets worse.
I think one thing I wish I knew was more about the Academic Success and Career Center and how it supports students like when they recently graduated because in the School of Music, I kind of lived in a basement for 4 years playing my saxophone. So I didn't really get out much to those kind of resources, and I think it would have made my life a little easier. But I also think I wish I had looked into getting involved in the WCU Alumni Association sooner. I didn't really get involved until like 3 years ago. And I think I probably would have benefited from earlier involvement. I think could have helped navigate some different career situations had I engaged with alumni sooner. And yeah, I just wish I knew more about it when I was a graduating senior. Um, and I think one thing I would like for you all to remember, especially those of you that are about to graduate, is you have an entire alumni association. But the broader Cougar alumni network of over like what 225,000 of us or something like that, who want to see you succeed and want to help. I have never encountered a Coug who does not want to help Cougs. We all want to help Cougs, and we're all here for you. You know, you could hit up all of us on the panel, you could hit up any alumni chapter. We will find ways to support you to the best we can as you're navigating the start of your professional careers after graduation.
Thank you. Uh, yeah, I'd say the thing that I wish that I had known when I was graduating, uh, is that you can start, like, it's going to take you a while to get into a position that matches your interests in the industry that you want to go into, if indeed you know what industry you want to go into, and that's not still a process you're working on. Uh, it will take some time, but the clock does not have to start at the point of graduation. That's what I thought. I was first generation college student. I thought I needed a degree in hand before anyone would talk to me about my qualifications. But that's simply not the case. You can start the clock as soon as you want to, essentially. And any work that you do now, if you are still a student prior to graduation, will pay dividends. It will make the transition easier. You will have more figured out and will be less stressed at the point of graduation. So working ahead is what I wish I knew. And for those of you who no longer have that opportunity, I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. There's a lot that we learn afterwards. It's something I learned afterwards as well.
Yeah, thanks. I think for me, I was definitely in that boat of feeling extremely nervous after graduation. For me, school had always had that kind of familiar structure to it. And then I felt like it was, just my turn to go out into the real world and do it all on my own. And I think that that's one thing that I regret a little bit and wish I would have leaned more into all of these resources. Is just that Cougs are here to help you. No matter where you go, you can reach out to somebody and they will help you. There's a good chance somebody has been in your shoes before. So don't be too proud to reach out and ask for help because a lot of people are at different stages. Another thing is not necessarily comparing yourself to your immediate peers. Everybody has their own path and journey, and that's great, and that's one of the best parts about being a Coug. I'm sure everybody knows about when you go to an airport and you see somebody wearing the Cougar sweatshirt or hat, and you say "Go Cougs," you're probably going to get a "Go Cougs" back. I think that that's really fun and it's a great piece of being a Cougar, but that more real help side is also there. So if you are struggling, there's that huge network of alumni who would love to share whatever they can with you and really just excuse me, and really just help out there. I also think that mentoring is a really big piece, especially for this time in your life when you're making that huge transition. I know for me personally, I had worked over at the University of Montana for a couple years, and there was a few Cougs in the athletic department there, and I had kind of formed that relationship with it. wasn't really as much of a mentoring relationship, or it didn't seem so to me. I just thought that they were colleagues and that, they were really helpful and nice. But that's kind of just where it starts. So don't be nervous or, embarrassed if things aren't going the way you thought that they were going to go. Feel confident in the Cougar network and in the Cougar spirit as a whole, and reach out, find a mentor. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be somebody who is the CEO. It can be a coworker, or it could be the CEO. Um, Cougs want to help Cougs, and I really wish I would have leaned into that more. It took me a little while, but especially moving back home and everything, you start to lean on that network that we had talked about earlier. So yeah, I think that that's one of my biggest pieces of advice is don't be embarrassed to reach out, ask for help. And you'd be surprised at how much your career, your network, everything will grow if you just, give it the opportunity.
Sorry, so everyone can hear us. We use the mic in person, but thank you all for sharing. I think now is a little bit of time to open it up to any questions that anyone might have, like curiosities that you're interested in learning about from your end. I know we had a couple on the Zoom chat, if anyone wanted to share those. Jamaica?
Yeah, hey, Healthy. They're asking about internships, and I found the internship site on your page. Is there another spot that's a good place to look for internships that you could recommend?
Yeah, for internships. I'm like, Harrison, do you want to cover it as a panelist? I know, yes. I am an internship coordinator at the AACC. So, a couple of things, because I'm not in frame, are of course, we say that, well, we're a handshake school, right? We use that platform a lot. And why we think it's a good option to look for paid, unpaid internships, whatever it is you're looking for, is because when we get employers who say, hey, I'm interested in recruiting talent from WSU, one of the first things that we do encourage them just to make it more accessible for you to find and easier, right, to have in that search is we actually ask them to set up an account and cross post it there so that way we can continue to promote it. If not there, then sometimes, yes, we will like share with them the opportunity to use Cougs Connect as just like that holding space, right, to say, hey, these are Cougs that we want to recruit, and here's some of that info. And then otherwise, to the other place that's really great that I recommend in that networking, the networking strategy is to connect with your career services people, both in our offices and maybe even in your academic department, because they're likely getting a lot of different opportunities thrown at them. And we can't read minds, right? Like, we don't know what you're interested in or what things that you've already known about. But if you put that out there, right, it's just easier for us to make the connection. So that's my answer to that one. Any other questions? Question?
Do you have any in person there? I have another one I'd like to share.
We've got an online one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's two questions about the Alumni Association. One about being a member and needing to volunteer, or needing to be a member to volunteer. We are happy to get anyone to volunteer, and honestly, you don't even have to be an alumni to volunteer. My husband now is a Coug by marriage, and he volunteers at all the events that we do here. I live in Utah and do the chapter here. So he is now a Coug that volunteers and helps us out, and he is a member. But you can volunteer without being a member. There's lots of ways to get involved, though. So, as an alumni, if you wanted to be involved with the scholarship selection, you could serve on the committee, as Rick mentioned earlier. You could. There's a lot of events. I know the Tri-Cities when they're doing the big race out there in September, they set up to hand out water to the people in the triathlon, I think it is. I'll never do one, so I don't really know what it is. But they, get together with alumni and hand out water. So there's a lot of ways to get involved in different things. And there's another question here, and actually we've talked about this with Hildy quite a bit, is it is intimidating to reach out to somebody on Cooks Connect, especially some you're like, oh, they're really high up in this company. They don't want to talk to me as a graduating student. They do. Anyone that says they want to help, that's a recent thing within the last year that they've said, I want to help. And so don't feel intimidated. And that's where some of those templates come in handy because it helps break the ice, gives you real simple language of what you're reaching out for. But the other part piece is to know what you are looking for. Are you looking to talk to somebody? Do you want somebody to look at your resume? Are you looking for network ideas? Being clear on what you're looking for. So when you go in and you're searching for a mentor, searching the directory, don't be shy to be specific on what you're searching for and to reach out to those individuals who say they're willing to help because they truly are willing to help. Hildy, you have something to throw in there?
Yes, no, I watch our time as well for our event and know we are wrapping up very quickly and perhaps now. But we have a lot of questions in the chat and we'll actually stay a little bit to answer anything and kind of do networking. But in the meantime, I did want to do a little bit of wrap up in case you are, needing to get to the next spot that you do. But we really appreciate all of our panelists being here. Rick, we appreciate you joining over from Everett. Jamaica is actually in U Utah. Yes. Yes. And then we've got our Pullman Cougs here joining today as well. And honestly, yes, like the main thing, right, is that resources are going to be available for you no matter where you are in your journey. If you're juniors, if you're seniors, if you are recent graduates, that is all available to you. And the conversation doesn't just end here today. So again, if you want to join and chat more about these questions, we'll try to write up all the answers so that you get it. And you can read through it or kind of refer to it later. So join us on, Cooks Connect if that's something that is interesting to you as a resource. We've asked our panelists today I think they're all set up in Cooks Connect if you want to chat a little bit more as well. And then this year, as a really quick update is that if you are a senior graduating, we have a really exciting opportunity called that Senior Send Off Toast and Alumni Launch. But essentially a celebration, right, for being a graduating Coug. And we've got lots of great things and are just hoping to make those connections before you leave, like whichever campus it is. You can also join us virtually. So save that date for Thursday, April 23rd. But please register so we know how much free Munchies hot dogs to get, right, for all of our graduating seniors. And then also, if you're here for amplifier credit, I actually have the QR code next if Jamaica wants to share it so that we can make sure that you got checked in and got that on your list of things that you've done. Otherwise, we are going to stay a little bit if you want to chat some more, and we can cover some of those questions too so we have them all recorded and also can share them out after. So I'll pass it to Jamaica if she wants to go through any other questions, and I'll give it to you all.
Let me see here. I think most of them in the chat have been answered at this point. If anyone else has any questions to throw in or to come off mute at this time.
I'll just address one question in the chat in case there's any people in the room there in Pullman. Someone asked if you have a minoritized identity, if there's any way, any supports for that. The WCO Alumni Association has communities that are based around various identities, various minoritized identities that you can engage with, and those groups are full of kooks that want to support you. I know me personally, I'm involved in La Alianza, which is the Chicanx Latinx alumni chapter, and I've gotten a lot of support navigating a lot of different things with them. So that is a great resource. If you are someone who holds a minoritized identity, you can go check out the communities under the groups and volunteers on the Alumni Association website.
Hey, Rick, another thing to connect with that also is you don't have to be an alumni to start being active in those chapters and
Yep,
communities. As a student, you are definitely welcome to start participating in chapters and communities. So don't wait. Get involved now. I think that's part of the advice earlier is don't wait around. Start connecting now.
absolutely.
I'll do a little plug for the Academic Success and Career Center here as well. Uh, every semester, we do an event called Thriving Authentically, and that very often is bringing in panel speakers to come and represent different groups to talk about what it was like for them getting started in their careers, what are the resources that they've run into, what are the strategies and different experiences that they've had. So that's something to watch out for. Those are going to be in October and February, or the month before those months, leading up to the career expos. So they're not all the time, but they are great events when they're occurring.
Still more online questions?
We're winding down. I'm holding the mic, so you might not have heard Hildy. Uh, we're very happy to stay if you do have more questions, even though the formal event is over here. So yeah, keep firing away if you've got them. For those who have attended in person, thank you. We appreciate you. But feel no obligations to stay if you are satisfied.
Hey Hunter, you might be able to help answer this question. Someone who's looking to start a business or recently started. I know we asked the question on Kooks Connect when people register, and I'll warn everybody now there's a lot of questions we ask. It's a lot of important data points. We do ask if they're a business owner. Is that a filterable thing on Kooks Connect for the directory?
Um, I'm not 100% sure if we have that currently listed for a data point to be able to filter through in the directory there, but we do have a business directory on the platform itself. And so that's a great way to promote your business or any Cougar connected business that you're associated with. We don't have a ton of them on there right now, so if you want to get your business face out there in front of a bunch of Cougs, that's a great way. Go ahead and add your business onto the directory. And then for everyone else, go ahead and search the business directory and you can see a lot of those great Cougar connected businesses.
Cool. I think people are winding down as well. Yeah.
We'll be checking our Cougs Connect as well. So if you have other questions that you maybe don't want to pose to the whole group, feel free to send us messages on Cougs Connect, and we'd love to chat with you there.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Any final questions? Or I'm going to go ahead and close out the Zoom if there's no other questions at this time. But please, like I say, don't be shy to reach out.
Perfect.
Fun being in the event with you, Jamaica and Rick.
Yes, thank you all.
Thank you.
See y'all in a few weeks in Pullman.
Awesome.
Yeah, see you then.